Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wale and today I'll be reacting to 10 things you didn't know about Sarutobi the third Hokage by Anime Boss Deep. He has made a video about Madara and now he's making a video about Sarutobi, so I'm going to react to it now. I know he's going to say a lot of things I don't know about Sarutobi. I would have known some of them, but still some I won't have known. He's going to explain it now. I'm also sure that he's going to talk about a lot of history and philosophy behind the name, in the name, everything that's implied in him, where his character was getting from the inspiration behind the character, the Japanese meaning. I know he's going to say everything. I can't wait for it. Without further ado, let's get into the video and see what Anime Boss Deep has to say.
Alright, we all know that the third Hokage is a pretty divisive character. Many fans think he ruined Naruto whilst growing up, along with messing up shit with Itachi and other Naruto. But in this universe, few people are as famed or feared as the god of shinobi, Hiruzen Sarutobi.
Okay,
so in this video, we are going to go balls deep into the third Hokage. With that, let's cue the intro and get right into it. Where else to start but a name? Hiruzen in Japanese is written with two characters meaning garlic and mountain. Hiruzen is also the name of a region in Japan and coincidentally refers to Three Mountains Peak that looks over the area. Three Mountains Peak, third Hokage, mountain, his face is in the mountain. Coincidence?
I know it's not meaning.
As the first real implied powerhouse we encounter in the Naruto series and the embodiment of everything young Naruto seeks to become, we could easily read this naming choice as a metaphor. Moving on to Sarutobi, again this name in Japanese is written with two characters meaning monkey and jump. Makes sense considering Hiruzen had a monkey summon and Tobirama also called Hiruzen Saru to reflect that meaning. But the Sarutobi name, coming from his clan and father Sasuke Sarutobi, is actually inspired from the famous Japanese folklore about a man called Sasuke Sarutobi who led 10 great ninjas. The name is synonymous with the concept of ninjas, with the world famous athletic competition Ninja Warriors being called Sasuke in Japan. So yeah, Hiruzen's dad is based on one of the greatest ninjas.
I wanted to talk about Sasuke too.
And as you all know, our very own Sasuke Uchiha was given that name in hopes that he would become as great of a ninja. Hiruzen also earned a few nicknames as a shinobi in the Narutoverse, such as the Master of All Techniques, the God of Shinobi, and the Professor. Alright, now moving on to Hiruzen's initial design and conception. Funniest thing is that originally, Hiruzen wasn't even a human. You guys might be thinking, wait, what? Was he a monkey then? Well, no, he was a dog. Yes, you guys heard me right. My grandpa was a dog. And I don't mean he was dogging it around with the ladies. Seriously, considering he has a pipe, I would be surprised if Snoop Dogg was one of Kishimoto's inspiration. On the level though, we as Naruto fans know that Kishimoto loves dogs, and as such was keen on the idea of ninja dogs. I mean, just look at Pakun. But could you imagine a dog's face on the Hokage rock? Well, no need. I got that initial illustration right here for you guys. Just look at it. It looks pretty ridiculous, right? Well, not to Kishimoto. However, with all this being said, in an interview with Kishimoto, he explained that before coming up with Minato as the fourth Hokage, Minato's spot on the Hokage monument was actually taken by a dog. He explains that at the time
yes, I heard about that. I watched the interview. I didn't watch the interview, but I heard about it.
But his editor told him he was thinking off the tangent again. So instead of that, he just made the fourth Hokage the main character's dad. Hence, we had that conception of Minato Namikaze being the fourth Hokage. So it seemed that later Kishimoto decided to push the idea of Dog Kage onto the third Hokage. But in the end, Kishimoto finally decided to scrap the idea, deeming it being too weird. What do you guys think? You reckon he should have kept that idea? It's not like it would have been too weird. Let's not forget that in Dragon Ball there was a dog president. So why not Dog Kage, huh? Alright, so now let's get into how strong Hiruzen really was. Like we are told countless times that Hiruzen was a natural prodigy being hailed as the god of shinobi and the professor. But we don't really know much of his ability. But to be honest, that is more than enough for us to say yes. Yes, my man is the OG god of shinobis. Just his fight alone with Orochimaru and the reincarnated first and second Hokage in his old and deteriorated state shows that the respect and reputation that Hiruzen garnered has much weight to hold. To add to that, in chapter 94, Iruka Sensei also stated that the third possessed superlative strength even when compared to the other Hokages. The third told him to stop talking about the past, meaning that at one point in his life he would agree that he was stronger than the first, second, and fourth. Guys, let's not forget these Hokages didn't die old, so we are comparing to their near prime strength. So from this statement and reputation alone, Prime Hiruzen is possibly stronger than the first, second, and fourth Hokage. But again, this is just on reputation and a lot of speculation. However, when compared to the legendary Sanins, the likes of Orochimaru, who himself was a Sanin on more or less equal terms to Jiraiya and Tsunade, he openly stated that during their fight, had Hiruzen been 10 years younger, Orochimaru would have been easily killed. And coming back to specifics, mastering all 5 chakra natures without a Keki Genkai, Sage Mode, or some type of body alteration is rare. The only ones known to master all types are Hashirama, Tobirama, Orochimaru, the second Tsuchikage, and yes, Hiruzen. Hiruzen even went on to master the Yin and Yang release, which literally means that he mastered all of the nature types. And according to the data, it stated that Hiruzen's talent had surpassed Tobirama from childhood in terms of mastering these natures to learning secret jutsus to genjutsu, which comes back to the title given to him, the Professor, due to Hiruzen's mastery over all 5 chakra natures, along with being Tobirama's student. And as you know, Tobirama was famous for creating jutsus, so it's not a surprise that he was able to teach it all to Hiruzen. Hiruzen was also always studying, and since his clan was one of the first to join Konoha, he got to study under the first Hokage as well. All of this allowed Hiruzen to have a complete knowledge of every jutsu that existed in Konoha. He was even able to explain how they all worked. On top of all of that, he was a Sarutobi who are naturally blessed with either powerful or more chakra reserve. He could literally perform usual jutsus on a grander scale, like when he used the Fire Dragon Jutsu and amped the flames to the point they appeared white. Also in the data book, out of 40, the old and weak in Hiruzen scored a massive 34, where he scored the max of 5 in ninjutsu, genjutsu, taijutsu, hand seal, and intelligence. The only points he lacked in were 3 out of 5 in strength, speed, and stamina, which could be explained by his old age. Like, imagine this geezer in his prime. I wouldn't be surprised if he got 40 out of 40. Lastly, to add, the God of Shinobi, or Shinobi no Kami, the Supreme Shinobi, is a title only given to a few, which Hiruzen shares with Hashirama, the first Hokage, and the ancestor of all Shinobis, the Sage of 6 Paths, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Now guys, if you want a detailed breakdown of how strong Hiruzen was in his old age, then let us know in the comment section below so we can break it down. Now moving on to another aspect which reflects Hiruzen's incredible level as a shinobi, Hiruzen has a summoning contract with Monkey King Enma. Now we have seen and heard a lot about other summonings like Naruto and Jiraiya's contract with the Toads from Mount Myoboku, or Sasuke's and Orochimaru's contract with the Snakes from Richie Caves. We know that depending on the user's potential and strength, the summons they perform will also correlate. Coming back to Hiruzen, he was so powerful that he was able to summon the king himself, the king being Enma. And guys, for those who didn't know, Enma is based off the novel A Journey to the West. Enma is drawn similarly to
the characters, the other guy
including Enma's staff. Enma has shown incredible abilities like being able to transform himself. More commonly, Enma transforms into Hiruzen's staff that is said to be hard as a diamond. Not only is this staff special because of its hardening abilities, but it can change its length and width. It's quite similar to how Goku uses his power pole. So if you think about it, Hiruzen uses Enma as his power pole, which is such a powerful staff that even when the Nine-Tails Kurama was attacking the village, the staff successfully pushed him back. You see this again in the series when Hiruzen is reanimated in the war. He saves Naruto with the same staff. Now I want to make a quick note that during Hiruzen's fight with Orochimaru, Enma comments that Hiruzen is not fighting as well as he would in his prime, which again supports the theory that Hiruzen was a beast in his prime. But excuse me, Enma, this man steals away Orochimaru's power. He takes down Ito Tensei, Hashirama, and Tobirama before he even fights Orochimaru one-on-one, even though he's 70. After he dies, comes back reanimated, he is able to take down Hashirama's Buddha statue by using all 5 style jutsus, and that's still not at his best. Come on, Enma, give this guy a break. But the last thing to add is that even Ito Tensei Hiruzen is
before I go any further, there is one thing to clarify. He didn't take down the statue. The statue was taken down by what is her name? Shigesu, Orochimaru, Jugo, and Karin. Not Sarutobi.
Still able to summon Enma, meaning his contract with Enma is pretty much it surpasses life and death. Alright, we are kind of halfway through. You guys made it. To show us you got this far, comment down below on what you guys think of the third Hokage now. Is this video changing your opinion of him? Personally, after doing all this research, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda have to respect him more. But now, let's talk about Hiruzen's past for a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, we sometimes forget that Hiruzen lived a long life as a shinobi. Hiruzen was a student of the first Hokage and the second Hokage, making him part of the first generation of ninjas produced by the then newly founded Leaf Village. And he predates the academy itself. Most of the training given then was actual life and death combat against opposing forces. A young adult Hiruzen fought during the first shinobi war under the second Hokage Tobirama alongside Danzo, Homura and Koharu, who grew up to be Hiruzen's advisors. If you guys are forgetting who the other two are, well, they are the old couple that is still alive in Boruto, who were always nagging Tsunade. Hiruzen also fought alongside Kagami Uchiha, the direct ancestor of Shisui, and during the fight against the Kinkaku force, Hiruzen was anointed the third Hokage by the second himself. As a young Hokage, Hiruzen continued to take upon the duties he would have if he weren't Hokage, like becoming a sensei and a team leader of the later Sanins. Like my man trained his student to become one of the greatest trio, if not greatest in the whole Naruto history. After that, Hiruzen as the Hokage led the second shinobi war with his student, subduing the opposing nations. He continued to lead Konoha even in the third shinobi war to the point where a truce was formed by Konoha to the other villages. In the end, Konoha was successful in bringing a truce due to Hiruzen's leadership and Minato's Namikaze's prowess, but Hiruzen's leadership. When finally he gave the mantle of Hokage to Minato, who was his own student, you would have thought that the man can rest, but we all know how that turned out. My man Hiruzen, at that time being the only Hokage to be part of 3 world wars where he led 2 of them, resting was not an option. Not long after, Minato dead, and rather than appointing a 5th Hokage, the people of Konoha wanted the 3rd back in power, showing the huge respect he had from the people. He then led as Hokage for another 12 years or so before he died. And let's not forget, he died protecting the village, not from a heart attack of old age or some shit. He sacrificed his life. So once again, the third Hokage ain't so bad. And let's not forget that Hiruzen was brought back from the dead to once again fight in the 4th Ninja War. Yes guys, Hiruzen was the only Hokage who participated in all of the Ninja Wars. Now, coming to Hiruzen's family. As mentioned earlier, he is the son of the great Sasuke Sarutobi, who was basically said to be a legend and became famous for his extraordinary talents. And let's not forget that our very own Sasuke Uchiha was named after this OG, in the hopes that he would become an amazing ninja like his namesake. However, although we kind of know the legend of his father, we don't know much about Hiruzen's mother, which led the Naruto community to come up with many theories. One which I personally tend to believe is that
the thing is that we don't know,
being the younger sister of
the thing is that we don't know a lot of what should I call them? Lot of these guys, lot of these ninja, we don't know. We sometimes know their father, but we don't know their mother. But sometimes we also don't know their father. That's the thing about Tsunade. We don't know Tsunade parent, Jiraiya parent, Orochimaru parent. Lot of people that we don't know their parents. So if there is a special series dealing about these people's parents, I'm going to watch for sure.
first and second Hokage. One of the reasonings behind this was that the Senju clan was pretty huge, to the point of competing with the Uchiha clan. And we know that before Itachi and Obito went on a family massacre, there was a whole community of Uchihas. And if we consider that the Senju clan prospered and equaled the Uchihas, we can assume that there was also a huge community of the Senjus. So what happened to them? Well, the theory is that the female members amalgamated into the other clans of Konoha by marrying within them. The men was also believed to have been the front line for the Konoha forces during the wars, being the first to meet their ends, diminishing their clan members. Now we also know that the first and the second had many other brothers, but there are no mentions to sisters. This could be due to the fact they were not forced into battle or the front line during the warring periods, hence no mention of them. There is also the fact that in the series, Uchiha Madara implies that the Hokage land has been kept within the Senju clan for years. As he states this, the third and the fourth Hokage was already a pointed and their faces were imprinted on the Hokage mountain. Either Madara is implying that both the third and fourth has Senju blood in them, or he's just addressing the first and second. But if that was the case, Madara wouldn't have made a big deal out of it. But guys, this is just a theory. Let me know what you guys think. Do you reckon that the third is also a Senju, or is this theory bogus? But coming back to Hiruzen's family, Hiruzen was also married to a woman named Biwako. She grows up to become Kushine's midwife during their childbirth.
Yeah, we saw it. I know we talked you that.
We also know that Hiruzen had two sons, Asuma and an unknown older son, who was part of an elite Ambu squad directly under Hiruzen's command. Through the older unknown son, Hiruzen's grandson is Konohamaru, and through Asuma, his granddaughter is Mirai, where both of the Sarutobi names continues. But hey,
who is Konohamaru's father?
Sarutobi's roaming around. Okay, so we covered a lot about the third Hokage from the original Naruto series, and I briefly spoke about Hiruzen's initial conception and illustration of him being a dog. But before Naruto became the series we know today, Hiruzen's character was in fact established in the Naruto pilot. However, he was pretty different. The main difference would be, at a glance, my man looked like some old sage wizard or sorcerer. Like, look at him, guys. I had to question myself on whether this was the third Hokage or a Hagoromo, the sage of six paths. Hiruzen is still given a position as the head of the village in the pilot, and in this case, the village chief. His role to Naruto isn't too different, but his overall look and character is. A thing to note is that the inscription symbols on this village chief's head and around his collar neck possibly seems like an initial marking of the sage. And this brings us back to the third Hokage's title, the God of Shinobi, that he shared with the first Hokage and the Sage of Six Paths. It's possible that initially at the start of Naruto, Kishimoto wanted the third Hokage to be the epitome of what a Hokage and a ninja was meant to be. In the start of the Naruto series, we see the third using his mysterious crystal ball
and we didn't see it again in the series.
And spy on Naruto from afar. However, later in the series, this ball doesn't really get addressed much. But during those moments, a lot of us were wondering, what's up with old people and their crystal balls? And did Kishimoto get inspired from fortune teller Bardock from Dragon Ball with this idea? Although nothing specific has been addressed in it.
That boy is going to be very useful.
Did state that Toriyama's work, especially Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball, heavily influenced him with his own. So it's not unlikely that Kishimoto was inspired with this concept from fortune teller Bardock. Also, as I mentioned earlier, Kishimoto's pilot for Naruto was more about yokai and involved a more magical side to it, like giving Hiruzen the appearance of a sorcerer, so a magical crystal ball to go with him made a lot of sense at that time. But how is this explained in the Naruto universe? Well, the crystal ball is in fact a jutsu. Yes, you heard me, it's called the telescope jutsu, and is not only used by the third, as this jutsu is also seen used by Gamamaru and possibly others. So we all know that the third
Hokage, I don't know.
On the way he
I didn't know that.
Orochimaru, on the way he let Danzo do all the dodgy shit behind his back, and the way he brought up Naruto as an orphan. Like, remember my man used to drop this kid some pocket money for the month and then disappear faster than you can blink. Naruto at a young age literally looked after himself. Not only was he broke, but also stinky. Yeah, ever thought about that? Who paid this boy? That's right, no one. Alright, I'm taking this a bit too far, but Hiruzen pretty much made a lot of mistakes, which is pointed out more often than not. But a couple of reasons to these mistakes was Hiruzen's old age, which is debunked as he was 5 out of 5 in intelligence and can only get wiser with time. Another reasoning was that Hiruzen was extremely busy and handling all his affairs was no easy task, so mistakes were inevitable, which makes more sense. But the biggest
the problem I have with this thing is said now is that what is said now, it is true, and it's kind of disappointing given that the type of intelligence Sarutobi has, it led Naruto to suffer on his own, which I think is very disappointing. And also, I think Naruto really suffer a lot. Naruto really suffer a lot, and he doesn't deserve it. The boy doesn't deserve him. I think when he was younger, they're supposed to get someone to live with him, like a nanny or so, to take care of him. Because Naruto, when he was small, was a very, let me just say, his childhood is not something to write home about. It is a very bad childhood, and nobody wants to experience that. And anybody that is experiencing that, I pray that you'll be consoled and everything will work out for you. So let's get back to the episode. Let's get back into the episode. Sarutobi can do more than
was
this.
his bad habit. That's right, guys. Hiruzen was actually an addict to smoking. He doesn't carry that pipe around for decoration. Hiruzen smoking that shit from a young age. You know this because of the son Asuma. For Asuma
Yes.
to pick up that habit isn't coincidence. More than likely, he grew up inhaling that smog. And we do know that these kids are very easily influenced. Let's not forget that Shikamaru had his little venture smoking to deal with the pain of losing his sensei. But Hiruzen and Asuma are the only two ninjas seen smoking habitually, which could tell us that it might have been linked with the Sarutobi blood, implying that Konohamaru might be seen smoking the green later in the Boruto series. But on the level, guys, did you know that this habit was actually a problem which had to be changed in the English dub? Obviously, to avoid promoting such behavior, the production companies made some changes to the animation, like with Asuma. The lit part of a cigarette was always removed, which meant that the cigarette could have been mistaken for a lollipop or a toothpick. And with Shikamaru, instead of smoking, he started carrying Asuma's lighter around with him instead. This changes was also made in the Japanese version of the anime and English version of the manga. But when it came to Hiruzen's pipe, well, the only thing removed was the smoke coming from it. Alright, now before we conclude this video, it's time for the blazing round. That's right, guys, we are going to now speed through a couple of fun facts about Hiruzen. For those of you guys that are in on that astrology and whatnot, then you would have guessed that yes, Hiruzen is an Aquarius, being born on February the 8th, which would make a lot of sense considering they are supposed to be deep thinkers and highly intellectual people who love helping others. It also states that they are able to see without prejudice on both sides, which makes them people who can easily solve problems. Pretty much sounds like Hiruzen when it came to Orochimaru. Okay, so around the time Konoha was founded, the studio period set sheet of Hiruzen shows that he was 140 centimeters to 145 centimeters around the creation of the Shinobi Training Institution. Then he grew to his peak of 166 centimeters as a young adult around the time when he was appointed as the third Hokage. And as an old man in the start of Naruto, Hiruzen's height is stated to be 163.1, meaning that old age shrank him by 3 centimeters. Hiruzen weighed around 50.6 kg or 111.5 pounds. Hiruzen's blood type was A, and before Hiruzen died, he reached the age of 69. Nice. Now Hiruzen's dead, but before he kicked the bucket, some of his favorite dishes were dark seaweeds, hijiki, and sardine fish balls, while he was not really into vegetable pickled leaves, narazuke. Also, as some of you guys may know, a consistent phrase of his was absolute truth. And his hobbies were basically smoking his pipe and, chatting with young girls. Okay, lastly, his ninja registration number was 000261. Alright guys, that's it. We've reached the end of the video.
That is it for today, guys. Anime was really did a lot of explaining, and they were good. There were some things I didn't agree with him. Like I said before, Sarutobi was not the one that defeats the Guru in the war arc. But there were a lot of things he got right. And also, I think Sarutobi did a stupid thing regarding Naruto, which I believe is a mistake from his own part. He's allowed to make a mistake. Everybody do make a mistake. The best thing is how we go from it, what we learn from the mistake we made. If we don't learn from the mistake we made, then we are still people. But once we learn from it, we can't be judged from it again. And since he died, I'm not sure he was able to learn from his mistake. So regarding that Naruto part, he did a mistake there. Thank God Yuka was there for Naruto. If not, I think Naruto was going to go eventually. Assuming it wasn't saved by Yuka. So anyway, all what I did today was very good, and I like the explanation. It was very good. So if you enjoy my reaction to this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want more on this channel, please put it down in the comment section below. Thank you.